Okay, we're going to do a visual condition report. Now we're looking for scuffs, scratches, chips, dings, any cosmetic imperfections that we can find. So this entire front bumper is wrapped in PPF paint protection film, as well as the fenders and hood. And then you also have PPF on the side mirror, as well as the lower rocker all the way here. So all that's fully protected with paint protection film. Looking at this wheel, a little scuff here. And then the center cap has a little spot here. Otherwise, that wheel looks amazing. Looking at the fender, that paint looks gorgeous. Couple dimples in the PPF, little bubbles here and there. Overall, very clean. It looks like they tucked the lines really well in here. A-pillar looks nice here on the side mirror. Looks amazing. Upper section of the door looks good. Lower section looks nice. You got the film down here. It does have a couple bubbles here and there. Then right here, I see something on the surface of the paint that's actually not a gash. And it looks like the tiniest little ding. Got a small chip right here. All of that looks good. A couple small scuffs here. Looking at this section. Got a little bubble in the film. Tiny rock chip right here. The rest of that quarter panel looks amazing. See a couple scuffs right here, a little, looks like almost like curb rash, but it didn't chip the paint. You have a little scratch there. The rest of that wheel looks awesome. A little imperfection on that center cap. Here on this headlight, it is very clear. You can see some sort of runs in it. Maybe a little moisture got in there. So you can see those little lines. Overall, very clear. Full front clip PPF, like I said. Got a little bubble in the film. A couple imperfections here and there. There's something on the surface of the paint right there. Little bubble. Looking at the edge. Looks really good. These are just bubbles. And then looking at the hood, you got that full front clip PPF, like I said. Kind of scanning through here. I don't see any dents or gashes. And honestly, I don't really see rock chips that are standing out. You're gonna have a couple rock impacts, but that PPF has done a great job at protecting the paint. Looking at this headlight, you can see a couple little runs, like little water runs. That headlight doesn't have film on it, so that must be on the inside of the light at some point. It had a little moisture maybe. All right, looking in here. Those straps still look good. Those are not ripped or anything. Here on the underside of the hood, you have a couple chips here. Otherwise, this looks really good. I don't see any curb rash. A couple little scuffs here and there. That center cap looks perfect. So a little imperfection in the film here. A couple little scuffs on the surface. Otherwise, that looks good. Here on that lower rocker, you have these little rock impacts. And it looks like those may be underneath the film. and then the film was applied. And possibly these two little spots, but either way, very, very clean. You got to get super low to see those. That upper side looks good. It looks like we got a rock chip here and a couple there. That A-pillar looks nice. Got one tiny chip there. A little scuff here. Looks like a couple chips on the door edge, and those have been touched up. A few little fingernail scratches. And you're gonna have a couple swirls from just everyday washing. Overall though, the paint looks amazing. This section, you can see some little rock impacts, as well as some bubbles, so it's hard to differentiate what's underneath the paint and what's just on that film. But it's still very minimal. And a little scuff there. Not a gash or anything though. I do see a scratch right here, and it does catch my nail. And then of course you're gonna have the markings here from where the top sits, the convertible. Very common. A couple little small scuffs. Otherwise, looks really good. All of this looks awesome. Looking at this wheel, it is missing the center cap emblem. But overall, the wheel itself is in great shape. Looks really good. All right, checking out the back side here. Looking at the taillights. They're crystal clear. They look amazing. The glass looks good. This paint definitely pops. I don't see any flaws up here that stand out. All of that is really nice. These taillights look perfect, nice and clean. Looking at the back bumper. Tiny, tiny little chip there. Here on this lower side, you do have some scratches there. And some in here. It looks like those have been touched up. Looking at that edge, you have PPF on the inside lip there. You can see it's kind of darkened a little bit, and there are previous chips right there. Got a little crack, it looks like, on that trim. Couple little scuffs. Looking at this area, you do have some touch-up. It looks like a crack right here. And then, of course, the little rock impacts. Looking at that diffuser, there's some rash on the underside, on that underblade. I'm going to see a little bit here and there. But just kind of walking around right here, I don't think you're going to see that. And looking in the engine bay, looks really good. And then looking at the top here, got a small rip of some sort here, or a forming of a rip. Looks like the material got snagged, same here. Typical wrinkles. Otherwise, looks really good. Got the wrinkles here. And on the same side, you have the little snags here. So it must be somewhere when it goes down into that compartment, it kind of scuffs it. So it may be a common thing. but looking at the depth of that material, the black looks really good. So overall, that top looks nice. Okay, we're going on a quick test drive here, letting the car kind of warm up. This car drives amazing. You would never know it had 50,000 miles on it. Suspension feels good. I don't hear a bunch of creaks and rattles in here. Everything's kind of buttoned up real nice. The turning radius is really good. It shifts amazing. Steering wheel's nice and straight. You can see it doesn't have any type of shimmy to it. The car drives perfectly straight. Really no complaints with the drivability. I've been driving it for about 10 minutes now, letting it kind of warm up. I don't hear any creaks really. Such a fun car to drive. Very, very nice, especially for 50,000 miles. They definitely took care of this car and it looks amazing.